Advocating safety with face masks. Face masks are not a concern of politics, but rather a healthy contribution to public safety. Ever since the emergence of COVID-19, an infectious disease that has rapidly spread through the world, face masks have been a major topic of political controversy, whether to be worn or not to be worn. This pandemic has taken over the world, which has led to the closures of businesses, ruined economies, and general ambiguity in society. Since March 30th, COVID-19 has become the third biggest cause of deaths, trailing heart disease and cancer, according to Yo-Yo Zhao and Gary Stiggs in Public Health article. COVID-19 is now the third leading cause of death in the US. Presently in the US, the infections number around 15.9 million, while deaths are around 290,000, according to CDC's COVID tracker. Under these circumstances, restoring normality is the mutual hope and desire, and the best way to achieve this goal is face masks. However, many have come to see that these accessories or objects are a restriction or impediment to freedom. The purpose of face masks are not only to protect oneself, but also others that come into contact with them. Even public healthcare officials such as the CDC recommend that people should wear masks in public settings. This isn't something to disregard when there are deaths involved. To promote the safety of public health as well as restoring normality in everyday life, face masks should be federally mandated where it is not possible to maintain a 6 feet distance from others and under cramped environments. To begin, masks work in reducing the chances of contracting and spreading the disease from one person to another. It is also important when a disease such as COVID-19 is mainly transmitted through respiratory droplets and aerosols from coughing, sneezing, and speech in general. Especially when people do not immediately recognize if one has contracted the disease, nor are they aware that they may have possibly have the disease, it is crucial to wear a mask. By doing so, it is an effective and quick solution to prevent possible asymptomatic and unaware spreading. Mask use can be seen as effective not only in recent studies, but also in a popular anecdote on the New York Times. More specifically, a study from the American Institute of Physics, or commonly referred to as AIP, investigated and tracked the distance of oral fluids of respiratory particles from coughing, sneezing, and talking in the article, visualizing the effectiveness of face masks in obstructing respiratory jets. To sum up the experiment, respiratory particles can travel up to an average of 12 feet when one's mouth is uncovered. However, with a mask, aerosols travel an average of 2.5 inches to 3.7 feet, depending on the mask used, which can be seen as a drastic benefit. Additionally, there was an incident in the state of Missouri where two hairstylists were actively cutting participants' hair in a hair salon while they were positive for the virus. This can be seen in New York Times article. 2 stylists had coronavirus but wore masks. 139 clients didn't fall sick, by Catherine J. Wu. To be precise, 139 clients, however, only 67 of those clients accepted the proposal to actually get tested. Both stylists had worn face masks at all times, and all clients that responded and tested were all revealed negative. From this, it is evident that masks are highly protective, even in cases when people are right next to one another. These hairstylists did not realize that they were positive for the virus. However, with the use of masks, they were able to prevent asymptomatic and unaware spreading. These are just a few of the examples that emphasize the effectiveness and the reduction of spreading through face masks. If protection was not a valuable factor in masking up, it is possible that the monetary argument could convince otherwise. Face masks can help the economy recover quicker, rescuing the many businesses that have closed down. Based on the evidence that face masks can protect against active COVID-19 infections, they are able to effectively reduce the transmission of the disease. By stopping its surge, Dallas Federal Reserve President Robert Kaplan states that wearing a mask will help us in flattening the curve and aid in the progress that the country has made in reopening. Reopening the public communities and businesses will also restore job opportunities and lower the unemployment rate. That, however, is dependent on the levels of coronavirus amidst each city, in which they are each given an indicator framed in color. These categories then determine the possibility of allowing reopenings or reclosing, which could either boost or worsen the economy once more. Reinstituting lockdowns would once again crush and leave our economic system in a poorer shape than before. However, without face masks and protective measures in place, there is no certainty in reopenings and sense of safety. In this case, it'd be best to try to prevent spikes of the virus with face masks. This difference can be seen in China, who actually happens to be the origin of the COVID-19 virus. Despite being the origin, face masks are a social norm in China and are not debated as a controversy. Shown in the article, Trump says U.S. economic recovery is faster than any other countries, but China is leaps and bounds ahead, by Ben Popkin in NBC's news article. This can answer the question how China leads the world with reported gross domestic product of 11.5%, while the US lags far behind at -9%. Despite the pandemic, China has returned to positive levels in their GDP rate, and their economy is once again set for growth. As seen in the numbers, face masks have an immense contribution to their high GDP rate. If America does the same, we could see an optimistic rise in our economy. These economic issues have also further led to increased market prices for goods and services. Not only are face masks helpful in preventing this disease, they are essentially able to fix the economic distress that we are currently in. Due to the political conflict created from the wearing of masks, there are many reasons why people choose not to do so. Scotty Andrew from CNN reveals that in particular, many such as Stephen Taylor explains that face masks infringe on their civil liberties. It can be safe to assume that some people don't like to perform certain actions, especially when it is forced upon. David Abrams, a clinical psychologist, explains that some simply find it uncomfortable, and some want to feel the superiority of not following guidelines. Some also don't believe that masks are effective. Usually, Democrats are pro-mask while Republicans are anti-mask. A big reason, which may be because our president is a Republican who is also anti-mask. These are valid points. No one wants their sense of freedom to be interfered with. However, the reason to wear masks are in the social well-being and moral imperative factors of society. Future President Joseph Biden urges that it's time to end the politicization of basic responsible public health steps like mask wearing and social distancing, as he attempts to resolve this political division through coercion rather than mandation. I, however, believe that a federal mandate is necessary due to the non-cooperation of many. Face masks also only act as one factor in helping reduce transmission. Face masks are items intended to reduce the spreading of contamination, while many Americans have found offense in a political aspect. An example of this can be seen behind the hypocrisy of our current president, Trump's values. He disregarded the usage of masks, and he himself contracted the coronavirus disease. Face masks are self-care for oneself, friends, as well as family. Meanwhile, it would also only be utilized when in close contact with other people. As death and illness threaten our society, people are worried about the simple need of wearing protection. Despite this, some have already called for a mask mandate. In fact, some being the biggest food retailers and greatest retail corporations. These retail chains that refuse service if one were to be maskless include Walmart, Costco, Apple, Target, McDonald's, Starbucks, and etc. This is not a matter of politics, but for the safety of our country. Face masks are the best option to protect public health, as well as the most efficient way to resolve our society's various pandemic-related issues. Overall, face masks should be federally mandated in public where a 6 feet distance is not possible to be maintained from others due to COVID-19, an easily transmitted disease spread from respiratory droplets. Protection and safety of the general population is crucial amidst possibility of death and illness. Face masks are the most efficient way in not only protecting oneself, but others as well. It will also help us solve the issues at hand, such as our crashed economy and our rising mortality rates. Rather, for the safety of the world and returning normalcy, face masks are necessary and should be federally mandated.